This Map First Impressions video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Nebraska Lands USA. This is a 4X map by CCS 101, and you can find a link to the map in the description below. Now when you download the map, you'll need to unzip the download. The download is about 1.9 gigabytes in size, and when you unzip that, there are going to be several other mods within that zip folder, including the map itself. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the contents of that zip file will look like. So here you go. You can see the Nebraska Lands unzipme.zip, and in there are several placeable mods that are a part of the map, as well as the Nebraska map itself. So the Nebraska map will now fit on a standard dedicated server, so you'll be able to upload that to a server if you should so wish to play in multiplayer. And you'll need to also include all of the other zip files here because those are all part of the map as far as buildings that are already going to be pre-installed. So if you do not include those, then your map isn't going to look like the map that I've got in the video. So something else that is also a part of the download that I really want to draw your all's attention to is that within the map itself, there is a Readme file. I really encourage you guys to take a look at that because it does give a little bit of background about the map and kind of the storyline and the setup. So it says, "Welcome to Nebraska Lands USA, a full-feature 4X map with accurately scaled file sizes," I think it means field sizes, "and full seasons compatibility. The seasons mask has been installed to the map, and all placeables have been edited to work with seasons as well." I won't read all of this, but I will give you a few interesting highlights. New in this map, the individual GSI bins and Brock bins, we'll take a look at those, use a new script from GTX that allows any grain to be stored into the bin except only one grain type at a time. So if you put corn in a bin, then the only thing you can put into that bin is corn until it is emptied. Then you can put wheat in, but the only thing you can put in at that point is wheat until it is empty. So this is to basically bring another level of realism because obviously farmers aren't putting corn and soybeans and wheat all into the same individual grain bin. They're putting corn into one bin, wheat into another. And in order to put the crop into those bins, you need to use the Farm King auger, which is included with the download. This map also debuts dynamic mud. We'll be showing off mud in our map tour. If you use this without seasons, basically the ground will be muddy while it is raining and for a short time period afterwards. If you play this map with seasons, then the amount of mud you see will basically be corresponding to the approximate moisture percentage of the ground itself. So that is a pretty cool feature and function. Now, further down here in the video, it basically starts you off with kind of the map setup. Helps explain why you start with what you start. So it says you start the game at a friend's home in a small town of Waco, Nebraska. Only thing that you have available is his wife's custom pickup truck to drive you around. You start with no land, but you do start with a fair bit of equipment. So when you start off, you're going to have to buy your first farm. And once you buy your first farm, I'll show you some other cool, interesting features as we go on. But I do encourage you guys to go ahead and read the rest of this. It helps explain a whole heck of a lot. All of the sell points are timed, so they either open at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and close either at 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. Got a little description as to what sell points will take. And there you go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in to the map itself. So while we're here at the mod screen, let's talk about the mods that are a part of the download. So the Brock bin, cement silo, the composite machine sheds, GSI bin, the Farm King, the grain silo system, the harvest store silo, in-ground storage, the low cowshed, Nebraska Lands, obviously, the old American barn, the old barn repair, placeable CBJ Midwest Buildings Pack, Raz Wood Factory, the small silo system, the workshop old red, and the workshop old rusty. Those are all parts of the map that you need to make sure are activated. So in addition to those, we're going to go ahead and fire up the mods that we typically use during a map tour. Just to give a little better representation as to what is going on. Yeah. Go ahead and pull up the log. And once the map loads up, I want to show you guys a Google Earth image of Waco, Texas, and then let you kind of compare that to the game, or to the map itself. So we do have fill type mover script. So the fermenting silos, the harvest store, and the concrete silo, they are fermenters. They will convert your chaff and grass to silage. There we go. Loaded up, error free. All right, so when we first load into the map, this is where we show up. This is the friend's house. I can see that this guy has some pretty good taste in what he likes to watch. So this is a farmhouse. You have a sleep trigger here that we can make use of. And of course, this is one of those wonderful frontier design farmhouses that have all kinds of, rooms and doors that we can go into, etc. Looks like this guy is working on modeling his own office. A little freaky. Huh. Looks like he's got me on every screen of the house. Pretty cool. So in here is, well, that's right, here's the wife's truck. And this is set, you can use this, as you can see, but you can't sell it. You're stuck with the pink truck. Because it's not yours, it's your friend's wife. But she's letting you drive it around, so treat her nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map itself. Zoom out. This is a 4X map, so these fields are deceivingly, significantly larger than they look. So here we start at your friend's house. Get to the lands area. You'll see we have the horse farm, $124,000. We have the cow farm, $274,000. We have kind of an arable farm over here that includes field 13, $1.6 million. We have a small chicken farm, $46,000. And we have a pig farm for $80,000. So, of course, we start out with just $100,000 in new farmer mode. So we're going to have to basically pick between one of three areas unless we want to take out a loan. We can pick a placeable yard here in town, $18,000, chicken farm, or the pig farm. Then we can take a look. This map does use fairly realistic land values. So, for example, field 43 is $257,000. We're going to take a look and see how big some of these fields truly are. Field 44 is the smallest at $8,700. Other small fields include field 8, $76,000, field 6 at $99,000, field 39 at $49,000. Then I believe field 41 is the biggest on the map at $452,000. Let's take a look at the starting equipment. So in new farmer mode, we start with the following equipment, and you'll find that equipment actually just down the street and over a couple blocks over here in kind of a contracting yard. This is not land that we can buy. Okay, this is just part of the town, but we do have access to open the doors and use the equipment that is there. So in new farmer mode, again, we start out with several tractors. We have the Case Puma 240 CVX, the Case 380 CVX, the Fast Track 8330, the Case Optum 300 CVX, the Case 9240 Harvester, the New Holland FR 780 Forage Harvester, New Holland W190D Wheel Loader. We have the Manitou Telehandler. We have, of course, a pickup truck. We have the Drekar 8600 silage wagon, basically forage wagon. We have a Hallmaster overloader, auger wagon. We've got the Draper 45-foot grain header for a case harvester. We have the Capello 12-meter row crop header for our harvester. We've got the New Holland 600 FDR mower, if you will, for the forage harvester. Then we have the big Bendar cultivator, big 18.2 meter cultivator. We have the 18.2 meter Great Plains seeder. And we have the Hardy Navigator sprayer with a Breedall spreader. Then we have front loader arms. We have a pallet fork. We have a wheel loader bucket. We have a wheel loader pallet fork. We have a bale spike. That's what I was meaning to say. We have front weights. We have a workshop and a farmhouse sleep trigger. There is nothing least. Let's go back to the main map and take a look. So we have all of the standard crops on this map, including alfalfa. So the main AI is going to be planting corn, soybeans, and wheat because those are the primary crops grown in the area. Take a look at our sell points. You can see that we have two main sell points for most of our crops. Ag grains will buy some select crops up here, but Middle America Granary is going to be the main area that we're going to sell stuff to. And the Waco Co-op is pretty much going to buy the stuff that the ag grains isn't going to purchase. Some other additional points of interest is we do have cotton on the map, but we do not have sugarcane. Okay, so the reason cotton is there is apparently some farmers in southern Nebraska are experimenting, as I understand, with cotton. So you can do cotton on the map, but sugarcane is definitely not a crop that is dealt with in Nebraska. So that one is not an option at all to make. We do have an egg sell point. We do have the milk sell point at the dairy. And then we have sell point for sugar beets specifically. We have a sell point for potatoes. We do have a sell point for wool, but note we do not have a sheep farm built into the map. That is for the most part because sheep are not an animal type, I guess, that is common in that area of the country. So if you want to do sheep, you can obviously put one down. You can build a sheep farm, but there isn't a pre-built sheep farm on the map. There is a wood chip sell point, but there is no log sell point, really because there aren't that many loggable trees on the map. If you want to do logging, you're going to have to plant your own trees. You're going to have to put down your own log sell point. There is a sell point for straw and hay. There is a BGA that if you buy it, then you'll obviously be able to also sell your silage. We do have compost on this map, and we'll talk about how you can make compost and make a pretty good fortune off of that. And then, of course, we have our alfalfa and our alfalfa, basically our alfalfa bales. See, we don't start with any animal pens. We do have contracts on the map, and let's take a look here. Field 16, 130 acres in size. Field 7 is 67 acres in size. So let's take a look here. Field 16, 130 acres. There you go, up here. And it is $348,000. Then field 17, which was right beside it, is $143,000. So again, we've got field 7, 67 acres. Field 16, 130. Field 7 is down here, $182,000. Let me show you something interesting about the map. Let's pull up a Google Earth image, and then we'll kind of look at the map itself in a little bit more detail. So here's a Google Earth image of Waco, And if you will, this is where our starting farmhouse is, the Romar Farms. This over here is basically where this is the dairy, and this is kind of where the ag yard is. Okay, and then this is kind of where we could buy some land. But a couple things I want to point out to you is this area here. Okay, this is kind of so we've got bins here, we've got a fertilizer area here, we've got rail yards run across here. This is a sell point in the map. This is also going to be a place that we're going to see here in a little bit. This is where we can buy bulk fertilizer. And then we have this guy right here. This area here has been recreated as accurately as possible as a buy point where we can purchase crops. This is the road that leads up to the horse farm, or not the horse farm, but the cow farm. And then this area here is basically the agricultural farm. And we're going to take a look at this silo system and kind of compare it to what it looks like in game. And you can see here that we have several bins off to the side. We're going to see those also in game once we get in there. You can see this map is fairly indicative of the area. Big square fields. The only thing that this map does not include are the irrigation sweeps. That is because basically there weren't irrigation sweeps that the map author accurately portrayed how they function in real life. So he chose not to put them in, but of course they are simply placeable objects, so you can place them in should you so wish at your own desire. So let's head back over to the map and let's do a little bit of a fly around. This is a 4X map, so it is going to take us a little bit of time. And we are taking off here in town. This is where we start. And we are in game without seasons. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of fly through town here. Here we have the dairy, which is our sell point for milk. This is the contractor yard. This is where all of our starting equipment is in new farmer mode. If we do this map in farm manager or start from scratch, basically we will start with no land and no equipment, but we will have either $1.25 million or $500,000 depending on the difficulty level or the mode that we should select. This is the open yard that you can buy for about $18,000. Got a couple sell points over here. The potato sell point, the garden center there is what's going to be buying our eggs. And remember the Google Earth map? Well, here we have that area that I talked about was the bulk fertilizer. And then here is one of those sell points. We have the Wakoville Co-op. Further down here, we have that fertilizer yard that I talked about. This map also includes anhydrous ammonia as a legit fill type. So you can get your actual anhydrous from right here, liquid fertilizer here, or you can get your herbicide from here. And if you remember the Google Earth image, zoom up a little bit, darn well looks pretty much like the Google Earth image, as does, ignore the flashing roads, it's just because we're so high up here, but as does the Wakoville sell point and this fertilizer area. The town itself looks very similar to Google Earth image. Let's head on down here. Over here we have the Arable Yard. And from Google Earth, you remember we had the big silo system. Then we had several bins off to their own. Map author has added several buildings here and a little trailer which has a sleep trigger. We'll take a look at this much closer when we drive around. But again, Got the central silo system, just like it looked like in Google Earth. Of course, you can dump your grains like you would traditionally in Farm Sim in the dump point, and then you can fill them there, and you can just imagine, you don't have to pretend in your head that one of those bins has one of each particular crop. Then, as I was saying in the intro, the GSI bins here, you're going to have to fill with a Farm King auger, and the Brock bins, you're going to have to fill individually with the Farm King auger. Okay, and they'll only take one crop at a time. It's pretty cool. Let's move on, and let's get over here to the map edge. And I'll tell you, I think there's going to be lots of folks driving flat out into the map edge because this is about as borderless of a map as you can get. And bang, there's the map edge. We're running with cheats on, so that's how we can manage to run through the map edge. Anyway, the map edge is basically right here. Okay? It just continues on. There's distant scenery. There's a hint of crops going further on. This is literally the edge of the map, right here on the side of this field. Just like real air life, Waco, Nebraska area, this map is flat. We were doing a little bit of research and talk in the Discord while this map was being produced, and we were talking about how flat that particular area was. So I went and looked up a topography of this particular area of Nebraska, or an area very, very close to this area. And if you're not familiar with what topography maps are, basically they show elevation of an area by showing different lines. Most of the lines are together, the more the elevation changes. And the legend on this particular topography map was one line equaled 10 feet. Okay? So basically every line was a 10-foot elevation. And there were easily several areas in this general area in Nebraska where, according to the scale, you would go approximately 2 miles before you would see a line. What that means is basically it would take you 2 miles to go up or down 10 feet in elevation. If that's not flat, then I don't know what is. So I looked the same topography map of my area, and the elevation was in 20 feet increments, and there were lines all over the place. So, yeah. So I'm more used to hilly terrain. All this flat stuff, it's for the birds, in my opinion. So here we are. We are at a buy point farm. This farm will purchase pig food. Okay? So while you don't have the ability to make pig food on the map, in theory, if you would put a pig food placeable down, then you could sell your pig food there. There is a place on the map where you can buy pig food. So in theory, you could buy pig food and bring it over here and sell it. Coming up here to the cow farm. This guy is rather well-to-do. I think he had a villa moved all the way from South America, south of the border up here. Got himself a nice pool. A very, very large cow area. We'll take a look at that here in a moment. There we have the two harvest store silos and the concrete silo. Again, those are fermenting in nature. Let's head on down here to this other farm that I showed you guys in Google Earth. This guy will actually sell you crops. He is a decorative farm that actually has a purpose. He will sell you corn, wheat, and oats. Basically, he has 3 grain bins. One bin will sell you oats, one bin will sell you wheat, and one bin will sell you corn. Take a little bit closer look at this guy as we are doing our drive around. So you see field 20 with the field info screen is 66 acres in size. This is about the only real grove of trees on the map. Our field 21 is 42 acres in size. Field 23 is 38 acres in size. Here we have the horse farm. And all of the farmhouses are basically farmhouses that we can pretty much walk into, and they have interiors. That is another cool and interesting little touch. And we are actually coming up to the other map border. So right there, right past this bit of grass is the map border. Again, you look off into the distance, you don't necessarily realize, especially if you're driving at the ground level, that you're at the map border until you smack into the invisible wall. See, the road extends on, traffic comes from quite a distance away. And here we are at the map shop. This guy has all kinds of stuff out here on display for you to browse and peruse. So when you buy your equipment, it's going to spawn here in the back of the shop. Now, I will say that you need to get a little creative if you buy something that is extra long because it can be a little tight back here in this area. And then the area up front is kind of reserved for your secondary purchases should you run out of space in the back. We're going to take a closer look at that area again when we do our little drive around. Coming up here to the Middle America grain sales. These guys will do all kinds of things for you. You can actually buy sugar beets or sell sugar beets here at this little silo complex. This building here is involved with several transportation contracts. You can buy pig food from this area right here. The Millennium Feed Company will sell you pig food, pre-made. And then we have the Middle America grain sales. You'll have to back into this dump point, and then we've got this massive grain complex right by the train siding. You haven't seen the train, but there are two trains that traverse the map. There is a train crossing right here. It's kind of convenient. It's kind of a shortcut from the shop, which is now off in the view distance there, to get down here to the south. Let's head back into town. Then we'll head down to the southern portion of the map. Hope you guys kind of get a sense of scale with this. I am running, and typically these aerial overviews of map tours take like 10 minutes. But it's taking a lot longer with this just because of the sheer size of the map itself. This is the main road that traverses north and south. A little elevation we can see off in the distance. Over here we have the chicken farm. Chicken farm has a single Brock bin because all chickens really need are wheat or barley. All the farms have a fuel station and a repair station. Let's head on down here and check out the BGA. Field 36 is 91 acres in size. Here, field 38. 38 doesn't have a defined size. The map edge here on the southern side of the map is just below this road that comes here to the BGA. So the power lines there, they're off the map border. The interstate, the traffic that we see traversing the interstate there, that is off the map border. And of course, the fields off in the view distance are way off the map border. BGA, we have our dump, silage dump, and our digestate. Then we have two three-sided silage bunkers for silage. And then we have two more here on the back that are for the purpose of making compost. So pre-compost goes into these two bunkers. Silage goes into these two bunkers. Do have some equipment over here that is for the BGA we can make use of. I believe this is where we bring those wood chips here to kind of the burn plant, which is also hooked up to the power distribution. Here we have the animal buy point, as well as several other bulk points. We can buy bulk seed here and sell compost here. There's our sell post, compost sell point. Here we can buy slurry or manure. And we can buy our animals. Let's head on over here to the pig farm. Off in the distance, you can see the train. This is a long train. There you go. You can see the whole train right there, off in the distance. A little piddly 5-car farm sim train for this map. We've got the big train there, and then we've got another train that is a little bit shorter in length that I think goes at a little different speed also. So here we have the pig farm. We've got 2 root crop storage buildings, so we can put sugar beets, potatoes, or wood chips into here. Of course, whatever we put in them is all we can store in them until we empty them out. Pig area, we've got a silo, and then we're going to conclude our aerial tour with the Raz Wood Factory. This is where we make the pre-compost. So the Raz Wood Factory here is going to produce pre-compost. What we have to do is we have to bring manure, sugar beets, and straw to this facility, and it will convert it to pre-compost, which we'll get out of the pipe over there, and then we have to haul that all the way over to the BGA, compact it in the pre-compost bunkers, compress it, blanket it, and let it ferment, and then it will become compost, and then we'll basically be able to sell that for profit. I'm going to go ahead and basically fly over here to the shop, meet you guys at the shop here in a little bit, and we'll start our drive around. Alright guys, before we do our drive around, I want to go ahead and show you some stuff here in the map that is a part of the map. So, I failed to show you guys this earlier on in the video, but if we go to Tools, here we have Augers. This is the Farm King auger that we will need to use to fill our grain bins. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get one of those. I'll kind of show you. I'm not going to set it up, I'm just going to kind of talk you through how that works. And if we go to placeables, we're going to see we do have the ability to buy the custom cow, horse, chicken, and pig enclosures. We also have the ability to buy the vehicle workshops, a light, seed fill station, and an egg cell trigger. As far as our silos go, we have the ability to buy the Brock bin, the cement silo, the ferments, the Raz Wood Factory, the grain silo system that's at the Ag Yard, or the GSI bin, the harvest store silo that again ferments, and then the fuel tanks. You have to deliver fuel to these before you can get fuel out. Then we have the small silo system out at the pig farm. So pretty much everything that is at all of these farms, as far as buildings and decorations, can be bought or sold. And we have several of the buildings that are included with the download. And then several iterations of farmhouses. Now, if you do wish to put down your own custom farmhouse, you're going to have to sell all of the farmhouses that are already pre-installed. Something else I want to show you guys is if you buy one of these farms, okay, let's buy the pig farm. Before we do that, let's once again look at our garage, see what we own. Okay, we own all of that equipment. Then we own the workshop and a sleep trigger. Now let's buy the pig farm for $80,000. Okay, now let's go to our garage, and you're going to see that we now own a little bit more. We own the pig enclosure, the small silo system, fuel tank, several buildings. We have another vehicle workshop. We have some yard lights, the farmhouse, and of course the sleep trigger that we owned earlier. So the way the map is set up is all the maps, all the farmhouses, all the farms, if you will, are pre-set up. They're pre-built. So when you buy them pre-built. But you know what? You don't have to use them in that way. If I wanted to, I could sell each and every thing you see here on the screen, and what we would end up with is a blank bit of land that we could fill out however we want. So, dare I borrow something from a pop star, you have the best of both worlds with this setup, because you can either play how the map author intended with everything pre-built, just buy the farm, start using it, or you could buy the farm, say, you know what, I bought this land from this old couple, they couldn't farm anymore, I don't like any of this setup, I'm going to basically tear it all down and build my own area. Well, you have that capability now, the way it's all been set up. I'm going to make sure I pointed that out to you guys. Here we are at the shop. We've gone ahead and purchased the Mahindra. So to repair or sell things, you're going to have to back it up close to this particular bay. You're going to have to go into here and get your customize and repair icon. And you can see what I mean about buying stuff that's really big. I have a little bit of a difficult time getting out of here. Big Steiger in there. Parked. You're going to find lots of stuff just parked inside buildings, garages. I encourage you to kind of take a tour of the town. Look at people's garages. Look at people's backyards. You might be surprised what you find there. So we're not going to try to set this up or anything, but I wanted to show you kind of how it works. So your left mouse button, up and down, will move the Farm King. Raise it up. Okay, so you need to get this. You need to raise it up so the output up there is at the top of the bunker. Right mouse click. Basically, it's going to be affecting the dump there. Basically, you need to get that all set up and everything so that you can then dump into this bottom. You're going to dump into the bottom there. and then basically it will spill out the top and into your silo. So all of this stuff has collisions on it, so yeah. You can get stuff in and out of here. It's just going to take a little bit of accurate driving. Okay. This is a case dealer. I want to understand this is a case dealer that's in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's been scaled down a little bit because I think the real case dealer had a whole lot more equipment out on display, including the custom case mailbox. I think you're definitely going to get a sense of size as we are driving Mahindra. This thing gets up to about 60 miles per hour. You can see how long it's going to take to get from point A to point B. Got a mobile field here in front of the horse area. We're booking it at 60 miles an hour. It took us a really long time. And I'm going to fire this up in seasons here in a little bit to show you guys some mud. It's not raining right now, but this area up here is quite muddy. Here we have the horse area. I won't be able to show you all of these triggers because I'm not owning all of the horse farms, or all of the farms. This is where you're going to buy your horses. You can use the animal pen extension mod to get the water valves. Here's your water trigger and your food trigger for the horses. And then inside the building here is going to be your straw trigger. Straw is going to be right here. All right, let's see. Do I have the triggers turned off? There we go. There's your straw trigger right there. Food trough, water trough, animal buy point. It's right there. Then inside this building we have the repair trigger. Sorry, it's inside the rounded building. So here we have our fuel. I think on new farmer mode you do start with a little bit of fuel. Start with 2,500 liters of fuel in this particular tank. That's your fill trigger right here. So you need to haul fuel and use that trigger to put it in. Here's your workshop here at this farm. Off in the distance, the other train, the endless horizon. And we're going 60 miles an hour. These fields have actually been scaled down a little bit in order to give you a fair amount of fields. So I think if this was real life, exactly scaled to real life, probably wouldn't be nearly this many fields on the map. At this point, we can buy sugar beets here, and we can buy sugar beets there, or we can sell sugar beets here. The reason we can buy sugar beets is because it's been set up so that you can make pre-compost without having to actually harvest the particular crops that are required. So if you don't want to do sugar beets, but you still want to do compost, well, you can buy compost and basically, or you can make compost by buying sugar beets. Midwest shipping, and this building is really tied to contracts. See, inside the building we have all kinds of boxes, crates, probably come in off the train. Train cars there already set up the crates. This is where we're going to buy pre-made pig food. Again, if you don't want to make your own pig food, you can buy bulk pig food here for quite the discount as compared to buying pallets. Now the Middle America Granary, like I said in the flyover, you're going to have to back into this particular cell point. There's no pull through. Just going to have to back into it. A little railroad crossing. It's right up here onto the right. Want to take that? We can. I have to kind of just drive between the fields. I'll tell you, in the testing of this map, get a sense that this map is so much bigger than it really is. This is a legit Route 34, legitimate road, and the traffic does go the speed limit. The traffic on this road will be going 50 miles an hour. So you will have these guys coming up on you pretty good if you're coming through here with some slow farm machinery. This is the farmer that I told you you can buy grain from. You can buy oats for your horses, buy corn, and you can buy wheat. This one here is corn. Kind of peep inside this guy's equipment shed and see what kind of equipment he has. Okay, now that's not usable. We can't get into that building. See kind of the level of detail we got going on here. Let's head on up to the cow farm. We'll take a kind of a little closer look at the cow farm. Definitely explore this map in a lot more detail. Just kind of poke around and see what's inside, because there's lots of little decorative bits here and there that really just give this map a sense of life. Some old barrels, old wood. We got an old truck in here. Dirty old truck, Acme Corp. Parts. Of course, traffic. Patient as always. Another big long lane to get up to the cow farm. Your graphics card will support it. It's just turning up your max view distances. Really gives you a good sense. You can really look across and see things without them just fading out. Here we are at the cow farm. Have our fuel. So we have 3,900 liters of fuel in this one. open the doors, but we can't sell any of this stuff until we buy the land. Workshop. We have the cow purchase trigger, slurry trigger, the old fermenting silo. So around the back here, you dump your chaff or your grass, then it will convert it to silage over time and get it out of the pipe there. Over here we've got a nice kind of nod to the past. This is the old cow barn before the operation was scaled up significantly. Now we have the new cow area, some more modern cow barn facilities. Now your food trough, your water trough, and your straw trigger are down here. Okay, so you have your food trough here. Tight squeeze, but you can get the big Anderson mixer in here. Here we have the straw trigger. And then over here we have the water trough. Okay. Huge grazing area, playing with seasons. This area should support a fair number of cattle. Between these buildings, we have our milk trigger. Again, if we buy this area up here, but we don't want to do cows, we can just sell all of the cow-specific things and make use of the land however we see fit. So let's turn around. I want to show you guys the pig guy that buys pig food. Easiest way to get to him is to go this way. We're looking at 60 miles per hour trying to get across here. So this is simply just a pig food sell point where we can sell pig food that we either make ourselves or buy directly. We're going to bring that right here and sell pig food to this guy. And the attention to detail to this little area up here. Anywhere you see, there we got some mud. There's some mud. Anywhere you see standing water, you can pretty much be assured that it's going to be mud associated with it. You ever see mud? There you go. That's what mud looks like. Definitely don't want to get yourself trapped. Oops. Trapped in the mud. Take this muddy road up here to the arable farm area. If you haven't seen mud before, I know you'll think that's probably the coolest thing ever until you get yourself stuck in it. That'll change your mind real quick. Mud does reduce the friction of the tires. Will slide as a result of driving through the mud. Again, the way this works is, the water puddles will pretty much be mud all the time. The other dirt that kind of looks like this, is going to be muddy when it rains or soon after it rains if you play without seasons. If you play with seasons, that whole area is going to be muddy a lot of the time, depending on how dry it is. So here we are at the arable farm yard, if you will. So again, these Brock bins, you can sell them if you buy this area and basically build this out however you want. Or you can make use of them, but they will require the Farm King to fill. I'll show you the triggers here. See the trigger here at the top? Okay, I don't know if you can see that. The top trigger there, that's where you need to put the Farm King, the top of the auger, in order to basically fill those bins. And then the GSI bins, the output is right here. Okay. Now the output on the Brock bins is further down here. You need another little auger down here to basically then fill into your trailer. Or the Sukup buildings, the Sukup silos here, they are your traditional Farm Sim 19 type silo, where you can dump here anything into the dump station and fill from pipe. Put wheat, barley, oat, canola, sunflowers, soybeans, corn. To that bin, the capacities have been calculated to be realistic volumes for these areas. And we've got some buildings. Once again, we've got our fillable fuel tank, 7,900 liters in that one. And then we have a little shack where we can come and catch a little rest eye. Let's make our way further down. Let's drive toward the map edge from the cab. This road, the indicator that you're coming up toward the edge of the map is that bit of machinery off into the distance alongside the road. It's kind of an excavator there. They're putting down some pipe. There you go. That's the edge. Way off in the distance, you can see the blurred out through the depth of field. You can see the dairy. This is how we get to the trains are coming. This is how we get to the chicken farm. A long drive. See the high power tension lines. That's the map edge to the south. Here comes the train. If you play with headphones, turn your volume down. I'm just advising you. Turn your volume down. This train is loud. Better step back. We don't want to get hit. This is not a drivable train. It's not a train that we can ride. This is just a train that traverses east and west at various times as decorative. But it will seriously put a damper in your schedule should you get stuck here and need to wait. Continue our journey. Now, of course, all of these poles do have collisions. Okay, I know I've you've seen me hit some street posts, you may think that that is accidental. I've been hitting those on purpose just to demonstrate that you can knock down the street signs and mailboxes alongside the roads, but you're not knocking down these utility poles. Here we are at the pig farm. We've got our Ravenport farmhouse here. Got some easy sheds. We have our chicken area. So this is where we're going to buy our chickens. Our eggs are going to spawn there. And then our food trough is right here. Of course, our chickens are going to roam around inside this fenced area. You're going to find lots of these lights have these wires, these supports on them. These wires do have collisions, so if you run into something, you're not unsure what you ran into, you might be running into one of those guy wires. Be cautious. Fuel pump for the chicken farm is right here. But in order to put fuel, you have to go inside of this shed, which I probably can't open because I don't own it. And that's also where your repair is. And again, the chicken farm has one Brock bin because, of course, you only need wheat or barley for your chickens. Make our way back up here. Check out this silo here to our right. Make our way into the town area and then to the south. We've pretty much only seen half of the map at this point from the ground perspective. And I'm telling you, this map plays a whole lot bigger than it looks. It is a 4X map, but it plays like a very, very big 4X map. Coming up to the Ag Grains Inc. This is one of the 3 sell points that accepts some of our crops. Dump point for that. Then we would make our way back around. Okay. For the sake of brevity, I'm just going to cut through the field here. We'd have to basically come back out to the main road between fields 7 and 8, head down the road, and basically turn left right at the ag farm to get down to here. This is kind of our bulk purchase for our liquids. And buy herbicide from these tanks. Buy liquid fertilizer from this area here. And if we have a mod that will do anhydrous as a fill type, there's one over at nexusmods.com. Leave the link in the description below. We can basically use this to fill our anhydrous tank. That we can put anhydrous down on the fields, and it basically acts as fertilizer. Coming up here to the Wakoville Co-op. Before we do that, where we're going to be able to buy bulk lime. Here we have the Wakoville Co-op. Kind of coming in the exit here, but you're going to have to back into the dump station right there to do your selling. here we've got scale. Again, I'm going backwards. Like I said, I advise you guys to kind of drive through the town. Check out the backyards, some of these houses. Might find some surprises in garages or other areas. Across the street here, we've got a repair shop. We can bring our equipment in here, do some customizing. We will have to get it inside the shop. This area does close at night. Here we have the York County potato sorters. We'll bring our potatoes for sale. Farmers market will buy our eggs. Can get water out of the water tower here. Built 66 fuel tank, fuel station. And just as a side note, prices on the signs are the prices at the pumps once converted to gallons. Here we have the large placeable yard here in town that you could buy fairly cheap. There's your mud. Lots of people have asked, when are we getting mud? When are we getting mud? Well, you've got your mud. Then here we have the contracting yard. This is again where our starting equipment is in new farmer mode. Tractors. More of our equipment. Stored in here. Yeah. That's our starting equipment. Dairy, which is our milk sell point. Country Time and Family Restaurant, there are some contracts that are associated with that. Local post office in town here. Here we have our dairy sell point. Let's head across the tracks. So to our right, we have the cotton sell point. We are one of those Nebraska farmers that's experimenting with cotton. Bring it here to get it off our hands. Over here we have Tri-County Fertilizer sales. This place does open and close at various times of the day. This is where we can buy bulk fertilizer on the cheap. Come up here and get your spreader underneath the auger here, or the belt, inside the building. Oops. And you may be asking, well, when do these guys open and close? Well, they have their hours posted at the door. If you're ever not sure when you can get something, just come check out the hours. It's like a good business. They have their hours posted. don't think we need to fire up Seasons. We've been able to see the mud. Good enough. Zoom on out and just motor. Next stop we're going to go to is the pig farm. Yeah, and I'm flooring it 60 miles an hour. Now, I should have activated the DLCs, but I didn't. I didn't think to do that. If you do have the Anderson DLC, you will have some additional starting equipment. Might also have some additional starting equipment if you have the Cotton DLC selected. I don't think Will added anything with the Floss DLC, but wouldn't put it past him. He's been known to give you kind of a bonus if you have DLC equipment, or if you have DLCs. He's been known to kind of give you some DLC starting equipment if you have those activated and you start a new game save. So that is something to check into. So here we are coming up to our little small field on the map. The smallest field on the map right here is field 44. It's like somebody's front yard, if you will. But it's still 3 acres in size. It's still bigger than some of the fields on those European maps. Now, with Seasons on, this whole road to the Raz Wood Factory is mud. So it can be quite a bear to come in here with a loaded trailer of sugar beets or manure. In Raz Wood, this is where we make our pre-compost. And we need to bring manure, sugar beets, and straw. There you go, in those ratios. We'll dump them right here where we have the animations. Come around the side and basically get our pre-compost out of here. Start with any. Then we haul the pre-compost down to Raz Wood Organic Rubbish Center. For your mud, if you're the kind of guy that likes mud. There is a building down there to the far edge of the map, used kind of for storage. And here is the pig farm. This silo will only store select crops. It won't store everything. Let's see what it does take. So we have barley, oat, canola, soybeans, all in this bin. Barley, oats, canola, soybeans. 4 crops, 4 bins. Makes sense. We have our customized area. Kind of an old barn. Kind of the residual of the old farm here. The old farm of yesteryear. Good place to store your straw bales. Manure on the side, our slurry in the front. In the shed here, we have our food trough and our water trough. And this is where we're going to buy and deliver our pigs. So do note, you got to get in that little hole all the way to here to drop off your pigs if you're the kind of guy that likes to deliver them with a trailer. I wouldn't come in with the double-decker high animal trailer. Fuel. Big, large sheds. And again, here we have those root crop storage buildings. They'll only take 1 crop at a time. Your dump and your fill. Again, if you don't want any of this, you can sell it all. In fact, let's just do that. Let's just demonstrate that. Okay, let's sell that. that. Filter. Right, there we go. So, oh, interesting. I have to tell CCS about I couldn't sell the root crop buildings. That may be an accident. I'm recording this on a pre-release version of the map just to kind of get ahead of things. So that might be fixed by full release. But you can see the point that you can definitely clear it all out and make it your own. You put down a custom cow area, put down the cow area that comes with the map, but it's a big one. Okay, you're going to need lots of space. Or you can put down an in-map, in-game cow area. So off here to the right, we have a building, a couple GSI bins that we can make use of. Coming up, this is where we can buy bulk seed. Here's the Pioneer seed dealership. Got lots of cool stuff going on here. Wholesale only. Pallets upon pallets of seed bags. Then we can bring our auger wagon, our seeders. We can bring them down here and just fill them straight from the Meridian bin. Backside, right here, running across the edge of the map. We have the ability to purchase manure or slurry. Want to put slurry down on our fields, but we don't have slurry saved up. Let's back up here and fill up with slurry. Want to buy manure for the Raz Wood Factory, or we would just want to spread manure on the fields, buy manure from there for cheap. The livestock yard has plenty of both. Need to come around here to do our animal purchasing. And then we're going to close out this video by, once again, driving over here to the BGA area. In here, talked about it a little bit. In here you can buy, this is where we sell our compost. The pre-compost that we make at Raz Wood. Take to the BGA into the compost only areas. Right there at the barn we have our bale sell point. We take the pre-compost to the specific bunkers at the BGA marked for pre-compost. We compact it, we blanket it, we let it basically bake and convert to compost. Then we can basically take the compost out of those bunkers, bring it over to where I just was, and sell it for quite a tidy profit. Up here we have then our wood chip sell point. Here we need to put it in the bin. Can't just dump it. We have to put it in the wood chipper, burner, whatever we want to call it. So in the top of that yellow thing is where we need to put it. Got some machinery here that's part of the BGA that we can make use of. And then finally we have the biogas plant. We have our digester. We have our digestate. We have two big bunkers to hold about 2 million liters each. Turn them on at night so we can have plenty of light while we are doing our compacting. Again, these two take silage, or will make silage, and these two back here around the back are configured for pre-compost only. So guys, that is it. That is Nebraska Lands. This is a 4X map, so it will fit 4 standard size maps, if you will, within its borders. So if you can imagine, Ravenport is basically there, Bellsburn is basically here, and then pick 2 other maps that are standard size and just put them on the top. This map is huge, plays big. Well, definitely think that you are in a much, much bigger map. So guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think of Nebraska Lands? And until next time, happy farming. Be sure to click that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.